How we doing? How we doing, guys? Welcome in. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Today we're playing some Battlefield. Battlefield 2042. We're in Season 5. The new map is very cool, if you haven't checked it out. I think DICE understands what people really want in Battlefield, and that is more close quarters combat and just not such huge, enormous maps. All the new maps have prioritized more close range encounters. But why are we on a Battlefield 3 map? I don't think I chose. I don't remember choosing Portal. That's... Oh well. Portal is cool. Jesus. If it wasn't for the fact that a lot of times when you're playing Portal, it's not even Portal. It's 2042 maps.
Battle is won.
All right. So Conquest 64 now has some Portal maps mixed into it. That's interesting. Killer Beast, bro, I just joined. Hey, congratulations, man! You joined a public match in Battlefield.
Let's begin, please.
All right, so Conquest 64. Again, a response to the oversized maps, and Conquest 64 maps are reduced in size. But anyway, what have you guys been playing? Anyone beat Final Fantasy 16? Anyone playing Final Fantasy 16? It's the newest popular game at the moment. Yo, this vehicle is vibrating like crazy. Those only in Battlefield moments. I feel like those have kind of been lost in like in 2042. Those only in Battlefield moments, they don't really happen that much, I don't feel like, in 2042. It's so perfectly balanced and like under control.
Battle outcome looks promising.
Oh shit.
Our attack on Bravo 1 is underway.
But how about like Diablo? You guys playing Diablo? I know Diablo 4 is very popular. More of a PC game. Diablo 4 is the only thing that all the PC players I know have been talking about this whole year. Like, that's been their biggest game this year.
Stay alert. Friendly forces are securing Delta 1.
One guy I was talking to said he didn't like the game after playing for a while. I still want to try it. A lot of people are loving it. It's definitely on my list. And I kind of feel like I wish I would have bought that instead of Final Fantasy 16, because 16, that story is... It's not amazing. I don't really like the cinematography is pretty amateur. Overwhelmed.
They've captured
This must be a response from like the fans to put for Conquest 64 to have the, you know, older maps. Definitely get some smoke out. God damn. It is going down right here. Ooh, there we go. Playing on these old maps like brings Battlefield to life again.
Troop by troop, they're paying a price. Keep it up.
Battlefield has always been more about chaos. 2042, it's just so perfectly balanced and under control, which is good to have balance and everything, but I don't know, I feel like you just don't really let loose. It's kind of the way the maps are set up, or you don't have that interplay between vehicles and infantry.
Russians control sector
They're
Alpha.
kind of kept separate. You know, I don't know. It's good. It just depends on the map. It's okay.
Hostiles attacking one of our objectives.
Let's get over to B1.
Situation report. U.S. forces asserting control over initial sectors. Target progress.
Out of ammo. Yeah, I do really want to play Diablo 4. I didn't get far in 3. I didn't get far in Path of Exile. Mainly because the stories just were kind of minimal. Now, games like Divinity have great stories, but
Capture sector Charlie.
those are CRPGs and turn-based, so not really my style. Maybe Diablo 4 combines all of it.
Must secure more sectors.
I do like the format of what's that called? The Sin that camera isometric, but like the Ascent, right? I love the Ascent, but that's a full-blown twin-stick shooter, no RPG or anything. Jesus. Dude just whacked me with a shield. So I don't know, I'm just not totally sure. Final Fantasy 16 is my genre, and it was more of a sure bet. But man, that story is really bad. And the cinematography is not immersive. It's nowhere near 7 Remake. The casting is not good. The actors are good, but the casting choices are not, and the direction is kind of like neglectful. The actors are not matching the scene and what the character is doing. It's hard to get into the story. The main protagonist, this is not going to be an iconic protagonist.
Just secured secured Sector Alpha.
most Final Fantasy games have an iconic main character. This is not going to be one of those games. Clive, he's not going to be one of those iconic protagonists. At least this is the perspective of the English localization. I don't know if it's different in the original,
Hostiles have taken 50%
but
loss.
I mean, the English localization in 15 was very good, at least for Noctis, and 7 Remake amazing. You would think 7 Remake was an American game. Man, I'm way pinned down. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. This is what I miss about Battlefield 1. You just have a whole team just rush over a hill and it's just a slaughter fest. Not all this, like, sniping and everything. I don't know, Battlefield 3 is great, though. Although I did play it on console, and so Rush was the go-to game mode, 12v12 Rush. It was just so simple, and it just worked so well. That 12v12 Rush was a special experience. Every time I pop out, I'm just getting freaking popped. But maybe these guys will too.
Russians have Sector Alpha.
There we go.
Majority of sectors under our control.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is a disappointment. I'm struggling to stay involved in the game. It's a lot of the story events have no justification. Character decisions don't make sense. It's not natural. The quality is not up there with 7 Remake. I do like the environments. They are rendered and much bigger, but then the performance is pretty bad. And you really can't explore too much, and there's just no reason to. The game is just kind of sloppy. 7 Remake has this perfect, precise, everything is wrapped up in a nice little bow. Voicing,
Our forces are moving to
camera work, lighting, acting, directing, the pacing, the music. Everything except for the backgrounds, but I think that's an acceptable compromise, and then it runs extremely smoothly. No frame dips.
Just conquered Sector Bravo.
And what's crazy is 16 is
Now hold more
made
sectors
by
than they
the
did
team
before.
that makes 14. And 14 has some of the best story and characters ever created in video games. It's just a lot of it is text, but still, some of that should have translated into the action adventure format. At least the writing, like in 14, you can identify characters or like races. There's different races and you know, fantasy races, and they all talk differently, and you can identify the races of the characters based on the type of language they use, and like the characters themselves. Like, they're so unique And just the writing alone, no voicing, really brings them to life. It's just so good. And then the story is so good. Side quests and everything.
Time to push up.
Burn it out. Need to take that objective.
Watching your
All right,
progress.
teammate. Let's roll in.
We're moving to attack the front.
I thought that was a person. Yeah, all the writing, dialogue, and the stories in 14 are just a masterpiece. It just doesn't have that action-adventure presentation. And that's why I got quite a ways through A Realm Reborn, but I just can't quite stay in it for long enough to finish it, and I think I am done with it now. I started playing in 2020, and I would get maybe 1 or 2 months each year, and usually not finish that month, and just gradually stop. And I think it's a wrap.
Sector Bravo is in enemy hands.
But Creative Business Unit 3, they should be very familiar with storytelling, characters. So, I don't know, none of that. Maybe go into an action-adventure game, it just... They kind of wanted to just... It could have been new narrative directors, or just a completely different type of game that they've ever made. And
We control the
they were
majority of
focused on
sectors.
other stuff
Good
besides
job,
just
Topaz.
story.
Sector 1 is under attack.
Whatever the reason, 16 is, I don't think is going to go down as a classic. I think the sales are probably good. I don't think it's a huge hit. I think it's a successful game. They haven't released the sales numbers. Square Enix doesn't seem too excited about doing so. Now, you'll read about the UK box charts, which every time a game comes out, you always hear UK boxed charts, and how for 16 they were lower than 15's. Well, a lot less people are buying physical now, and 15 was 15 is a multi-plat.
Captain Reserve. This is their last shot.
So and Square Enix was a little bit worried about the pre-order numbers, but then the demo came out and a lot of marketing, so we don't really know exactly what the sales are. They haven't said how much money it's made.
Sector Delta secure.
We're just going to have to wait and see. But 7 Remake was very popular, very impactful, and it has I think about 9 or 10 million sales at this point. And it's only on PlayStation. Right? Meaning it's a successful game. That's a successful game. Only on PlayStation, 10 million is successful. Now 15 has about 10 million, and that's a multi-plat.
They're falling back. Good work, Notepads.
But 10 million that's still good. You know what I mean? For a AAA game that's not Nintendo, that's pretty good. And I think 16 is probably going to do, I don't know, maybe 10 million eventually. I don't think it's going to be a huge record breaker, but I think it's going to be successful. I don't think it's going to go down in history. I don't think Clive, I don't think he's going to be a classic character. Reviews are very good. It's one of the better reviewed Final Fantasies. both critics and users are giving positive reviews. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not seeing it. Maybe I haven't gotten far enough. I've gotten a ways. I think I've gotten far enough. It's yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it does. Final Fantasy sales have been good, but it hasn't been as big as you would think from such a big name franchise. But they're doing good. I mean, they have Rebirth coming.
Ready for the mission.
14 is huge. Seven has definitely grown on me.
The agricultural research facility in Egypt is vital to global food production. The U.S. plans to strong-arm the local government into handing over control to them. We cannot allow this. A navalized infantry force is en route to the facility.
Seven has way grown on me. I wasn't crazy about it at first. I started a second playthrough, still wasn't crazy about it, but then after a break, I came back, and by the time I beat it the second time, I was really into it. And now on my third run, I'm doing a lot of other side quests, and it's one of my favorite games. It really is. I just didn't understand the story. I wasn't into all the Shinra stuff, and all the flashbacks of Sephiroth. I also didn't have weapons upgraded, and I didn't have good abilities. I didn't have good materia. And I was expecting like a Devil May Cry thing where you have combos and...
Occupation of Bravo sector complete.
The environments, you couldn't jump around on stuff. So I just took some getting used to. But yeah, I'm feeling like I probably should have bought Diablo 4. But at the same time, that's not a guarantee either because of reasons specified. So far, Jedi Survivor is my favorite game of the year so far. Great game. It just doesn't look good or even run good on performance mode on console. Performance mode runs like graphics mode you would expect it to a lot of times. And that's the same with Final Fantasy 16. Jedi Survivor 16. They both are in performance mode muddy, especially Jedi Survivor. They're muddy, they're blurry, they're smudgy. It just looks so bad. That guy should have gotten out of that vehicle. And then, like, the faces are not as good as in Fallen Order. Like,
I'm going to save you.
They're just plasticky and like they're made of clay or something. It's not natural. The performance capture, they're using different technology. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not as convincing. Fallen Order was so clean. All the visuals were just so sharp. Even in performance mode, it looked good. The lighting and...
We have captured all of Delta Sector.
I feel like this game is more about the technology than it is the soldiers.
Taking casualty.
You know, which has its merits. There's a lot of cool weapons and gear. It just doesn't have that soul of Battlefield 1 or even 5 at times. I really loved Battlefield on console because of 12v12 Rush. It was so focused, and
Alpha sector has fallen to our enemy.
no one was wasting time. No one was sitting back sniping. But that's okay. I'm not really... I got single player to worry about, so this is just kind of... I play it when I feel like it. I don't really care about multiplayer right now. It just never feels like you're really on a team or in a squad. In Battlefield 1, like, it feels like you're part of a squad and a team and an army. In this game, it's kind of just about you.
How are we faring?
Hostiles aren't able to get a foothold. They're securing...
We control Charlie sector.
We have superiority in this battle. Make sure we maintain it.
Yeah, but Jedi Survivor, I'm playing through the second time. The first playthrough was kind of ruined by the black bars and the cutscenes, which I kind of got used to. But still, it's just visually, it's just so sloppy in performance mode. It doesn't run like performance mode. I know there's a lot of assets. I know it's a huge game, huge environments. Everything is rendered. I appreciate that. They didn't hold back on their dream and vision just because of technical limitations.
They control all of
I guess it's just kind of a unavoidable consequence. Cal Kestis is just not quite as believable as in Fallen Order, because that face, the facial textures, and it's like they're just clay. You know, it's not like they look real, and the eye movement and the facial micro expressions, it's clearly different technology that they're using for the performance capture and the facial scans, and it's just that little stuff like that matters. When it's someone's face, that's the character. But it's not huge. It's not hugely distracting. It's just one of those little things. I don't know. Survivor, it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Optimize that performance and just kind of clean it up. But it's a great game. I like the game. That was a big miss.
They're drawing on reinforcements. It's progress.
So far, those Jedi Survivors is probably my #1 game this year. There's a lot to do for it not being a full open world. A lot of content, good swordplay, upgrades. I was impressed throughout the whole game at the world that they created, and the overall adventure. I like the story.
Our forces are...
Nothing about the game is really bad. I was very impressed.
One is down!
I give it like maybe an 8.5. I would go higher if it was just cleaned up a little bit better. Maybe a stable frame rate. It's my favorite game this year so far. It didn't quite leave the impact that I think it was hoping to. I think Cal and his relationship with Marin is kind of weird. How she just sexually assaults him out of nowhere. That shield. I was very impressed with it, though. I like Survivor. I like Jedi Survivor. I like what's it? BB1? BD1. BD1 is cool. My character's just screaming. Yeah, we need some help up here.
Lost control of one of our objectives.
I'm not going down there.
Secured by hostiles. We are attacking objective Bravo 1.
Oh no.
American forces will take
That tank have a flamethrower?
Enemy down!
No help, teammate. Jesus. You gotta be prepared, man. See, those moments, that's what Battlefield is about. Close quarters. That guy is smashing the shit out of that turret. Close and personal. I feel like you're always behind a screen, a scope, or some kind of technology in this game. And they did a good job with the technology. It's fun to use. It's very powerful. Balanced, everything's balanced very nicely. But
Throwing grenade!
it just doesn't have that natural kind of everyone rushing in type of experience that you had in Battlefield 1 or in the older Battlefields, especially on console. That rush mode, man, that was a game changer. Or on PC, Rush 32,
Alpha sector is secure.
32v32. Never played it. Probably very chaotic.
We hold more sectors than the enemy.
It's a finely crafted game. It just doesn't have that personal touch. But they have updated it, given it a lot of new content, and I think they understand what players want and what works best for this game, which is more of that up close and personal, and all of the new maps have been tailored to that. So they definitely didn't just leave people hanging. There'll probably be a few more seasons until the next Battlefield. You know what I mean? You don't have to pay any more money for anything, which is nice. So if you have invested in the game, at least you're getting a lot of support. I want to see Battlefield succeed and maybe make a comeback. I might like to make a comeback as a multiplayer gamer.
Enemy focusing on Charlie 1.
And you know, Battlefield could be the game that does it.
Let's see how they handle this.
Nice try, guys. I think game of the year. I think my game of the year is still out there. I think it's still coming. I think something this year for me can beat Survivor. I think maybe Assassin's Creed Mirage for me could beat out Jedi Survivor as game of the year.
Bravo sector secured.
You know, I love Assassin's Creed, and this one is looking very good. I feel like Spider-Man 2 could,
To fight.
even though those have not been my absolute favorite games. They are getting a lot better, and I think Spider-Man 2 is looking to be a really
Requesting transport.
top-notch experience.
Next month.
I have a lot of faith in Spider-Man 2.
Assigned and inbound.
Alan Wake 2, I love horror games. Love Alan Wake.
Red alert, Snowpack.
Still got quite a few games coming.
Review threat pattern.
It would have been nice if the ABK deal would have been finalized, and then, you know, but that's all right. It'll come when it comes.
Assembling sentry.
No point in getting hung up on what could have been.
Get to that monster.
Now, I do like Portal in this game, like I was saying, but I don't see the point of Portal if they're going to have 2042 maps. Like, the point of Portal is to go through the portal and play the older maps. Like, a lot of Portal is maps from 2042. Like, there's plenty of ways to play 2042. You got Rush TDM. You got a lot of enemies right here.
Is ready.
We are initiating an attack on our...
You got Hazard Zone, Conquest 64, Conquest 128.
One moment. Formation.
Plenty of ways to play 2042. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. This was a short stream today. Just wanted to get on and have a little conversation and connection with the viewers. Check out Battlefield 2042. Decent game, in my opinion. At least there's a lot of content now. New season is out. Go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Hit the like if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm gone.